500 million years ago, a civilization emerged in a region of space where stellar density was unusually high. The Atlasa civilization did not evolve by chance. Their origin followed a deliberate sequence embedded in the structure of their stars. Their planetary cradle orbited a tri-star system. Creating cycles of energy unknown in modern physics. From this environment, Atlasa developed bioluminal technology. Energy derived from living light structures. Their architecture was not built, it was grown using controlled photonic organisms. Over millions of cycles, they learned to encode memory into these organisms, turning cities into living archives. The Atlasa possessed no written language. Their information existed as vibrating light patterns. To survive the collapse of their tri-star system, they engineered the Atlas constructs. City-sized vessels capable of indefinite drift. These vessels were sealed inside rocky exteriors. To appear indistinguishable from natural asteroids. Internally, each Atlas construct contained bioluminal chambers arranged in precise fractal geometry. In their final era, Atlasa realized their species could not survive the collapse, but their knowledge could. Transferred the collective memory of their civilization into the Atlas constructs. These constructs entered a dormant state, waiting for stable regions of space to awaken them. Atlas constructs vanished into deep interstellar darkness. Only a few remain detectable across millions of years. the cycles passed, one construct drifted toward a star system filled with noise and turbulence. This was the beginning. Of what another species would mistake for first contact. Atlas constructs contain a layered architecture. Four concentric shells, each serving a distinct purpose. The outer shell is a composite of silicate rock and compressed carbon foam. Density 3.91 grams per cubic centimeter. Its purpose is camouflage and radiation shielding. Capable of absorbing 97% of cosmic rays. Beneath it lies the biolumin membrane, a living layer transmitting photonic nutrients. The membrane maintains internal temperature at 18.4 degrees Celsius, immune to vacuum fluctuations. Further inward, the fractal chamber network expands, recursive corridors growing in self-similar patterns. This geometry enhances energy distribution, reducing loss to nearly zero. The third layer houses the bioluminal nervous grid, composed of millions of optic neural filaments. Each filament records sensory changes within the vessel at intervals of 0.002 seconds. Together, they form a distributed consciousness, an echo of the Atlasa way of thinking. At the core lies the lumen archive sphere, diameter 1.7 kilometers. This sphere contains 1.2 trillion photonic memory clusters. Each cluster carries information encoded not in matter, but in oscillation patterns. Unlike mechanical archives, this memory cannot decay, only shift into lower energy modes. Even in dormant state, the archive sphere maintains a base frequency of 4.88 Hz. Powering the entire structure is the Trinexus core, an engine harnessing tri-photonic convergence. This mechanism produces energy without fuel, drawing from vacuum fluctuations. Atlas constructs can theoretically drift for millions of years without energy loss. Their systems are designed to awaken only when encountering stable, signal-rich regions of space. And after 500 million years of silence, Atlas began to register its first anomaly. For the first 10 million years, Atlas drifted through its native tri-star remnants, regions saturated with stellar debris. These zones contained iron-rich dust clouds with densities up to 40 particles per cubic centimeter. After 30 million years, Atlas exited its birth region. Entering interstellar void where matter becomes statistically irrelevant. In these voids, cosmic background temperature remained stable at 2.73 Kelvin. Atlas's biolumin systems reduced to minimum output, 0.03%. At 80 million years, Atlas crossed a molecular cloud. Catalogued as nebula type C14. This cloud carried hydrogen densities 5,000 times higher than interstellar baseline. Exposure caused temporary resonance in Atlas's biolumin membrane. Increasing glow by 18%. After 150 million years, Atlas encountered a gravitational rift. Anomalous curvature with no known mass source. The rift altered its course by 0.017 degrees. Enough to redirect Atlas toward a denser galactic arm. "200 million years into its drift, Atlas entered a region saturated with dark matter fluctuations. Dark matter density spikes reached 6.2 gigaelectronvolts per cubic centimeter. unusually high. These fluctuations destabilized Atlas's outer membrane for 11 hours before equilibrium was restored. After 300 million years, Atlas passed near a Class II magnetar. Distance 0.06 light-years. The magnetar emitted bursts measured at 1.8 times 10 to the 14th Gauss. Yet Atlas's shielding held. At 400 million years, Atlas crossed a region of stellar nurseries, birthplaces of new suns. These nurseries enhanced the Trinexus core by 9%, increasing energy reserves. At 480 million years, Atlas entered an underdense cavity, an ancient supernova bubble. Its interior radiation remained at harmless levels, 0.2 microsieverts per hour. After 500 million years, Atlas approached a system rich in electromagnetic noise. Unaware of the encounter awaiting it. As Atlas approached the unknown system, the first irregularity it detected was a rise in electromagnetic density, 74% above interstellar baseline. The system emitted broadband noise across 0.3 to 18 gigahertz, a pattern rarely produced by natural processes. Atlas categorized the region as a signal-rich zone, triggering passive observation protocols. Within 0.2 parsecs, the construct detected periodic bursts consistent with artificial modulation. These modulations repeated every 24,912 seconds, forming a stable cycle. Preliminary classification labeled the source as Type 4 electromagnetic clutter. The construct adjusted its trajectory by 0.031 degrees to increase sensor exposure. Infrared scans revealed the system contained at least one rocky planet with active thermal signatures. Thermal fluctuations oscillated between 185 and 330 Kelvin. Indicative of dynamic atmospheric processes. 1% to analyze surface emissions without revealing its presence. Sensor logs recorded structured light pulses in the visible range. to 680 nanometers. Some pulses displayed non-random distributions, suggesting energy grids or artificial illumination. Atlas deep learning matrices attempted to decode the patterns, but found them context-dependent and highly volatile. The construct detected low-frequency emissions leaking from the system's magnetic field. These emissions formed harmonics inconsistent with natural stellar behavior. Atlas initiated a silent spectrum sweep, scanning from subhertz to high gamma. Results reveal dense clusters of structured activity concentrated around a single blue-green planet. This distribution implied not geological sources, but a planet-scale network. Classification. Non-natural system detected. Further analysis required. Without intent, Atlas had entered the periphery of a civilization still unaware of its own fragility. Atlas focused its sensors on the blue-green planet, the first anomaly detected was atmospheric asymmetry. Nitrogen dominated at 78%, but high oxygen levels indicated a chemically active biosphere. Infrared mapping revealed vast energy signatures concentrated during the planet's night cycle. These hotspots displayed geometric distributions inconsistent with volcanic or tectonic sources. Identified 312,442 nodal clusters indicative of an artificial infrastructure network. Radio emissions spanned from 3 kHz to 300 GHz, far broader than biological origins. Surface scans indicated rapid energy conversion. Output reaching 1.7 times 10 to the 18th joules. Atlas recorded irregular emission bursts linked to weather-altering technologies and industrial mechanisms. Detection of over 230 million heat anomalies indicated concentrated biological clustering. Chemical sensors identified complex carbon-based organisms dominating the landmass. Atlas detected sound wave leakage into the upper atmosphere, structured vibrations consistent with language. The construct attempted decoding, but found over 7,000 distinct linguistic systems. Atlas categorized the species as collectively intelligent, structurally fragmented. Electromagnetic chaos increased as the planet rotated. Signal density rising by 44% during its active cycle. Despite technological noise, Atlas sensed no coherent planetary coordination. The construct flagged the planet as unstable technological emergence. For the first time in its drift, Atlas registered the possibility of encountering an immature civilization. Amid the electromagnetic chaos, Atlas detected a narrowband signal at 1,420.40575 MHz. This frequency corresponds precisely to the hydrogen line, the most fundamental marker in the universe. Natural processes rarely isolate this wavelength with such purity. Atlas immediately flagged the signal as intentional emission. The signal carried amplitude variations spaced at precise intervals, 3.97 seconds apart. Such precision suggested deliberate encoding rather than atmospheric interference. increased signal sensitivity by 28%, isolating the anomaly from local noise. A secondary harmonic appeared at 2840.8115 MHz, exactly double the hydrogen line. Dual harmonics are statistically improbable in natural stellar emissions. Atlas detected no thermal correlation. Ruling out volcanic, atmospheric, and magnetic origins. The signal's rise time was 0.002 seconds, too sharp for biological mechanisms. Yet the structure did not match any known industrial patterns recorded in the galactic archives. For 71 seconds, the signal maintained perfect coherence before abruptly ceasing. Atlas classified the emission as pattern of unknown intent. Level 2 rarity. Analysis revealed mathematical symmetry embedded in the modulation curve. This symmetry matched no planetary rotation, orbital motion, or biospheric rhythm. Atlas considered the possibility of conscious origin, marking it as a non-random intelligence artifact. Additional scans showed that the emission came from a region with abnormally high population density. Despite this, no consistent patterns emerged afterward, suggesting an accidental or singular event. Triggered by the anomalous hydrogen line signal, Atlas shifted from passive observation to high-resolution analysis mode. Sensor bandwidth expanded from 12 terahertz to 490 terahertz within 0.08 seconds. Partial activation of the biolumin nervous grid increased internal coherence by 34%. Atlas allocated 17% of its dormant processing clusters to signal decoding. Cross-correlation algorithms began comparing the signal with archived patterns spanning 400 million years. The system detected no match across 12.6 trillion stored signal classes. This absence of correlation elevated the anomaly to priority level theta 3. Atlas narrowed its scan to the region where the signal originated. An area 61,000 square kilometers in size. Thermal readings revealed dense biological clustering inconsistent with known energy signatures. The construct identified repeated micro-emissions, short pulses lasting 0.0009 seconds. Such micro-emissions suggested device-driven activity, though no coherent grid was detected. Atlas amplified gravitational sensing by 14%. Monitoring tectonic and oceanic motion. It detected no planetary scale intelligence fields, no shared consciousness imprint. This confirmed the species communicated through fragmented localized systems, not unified networks. Atlas initiated deep harmonic analysis on the anomaly, analyzing subharmonic layers down to 10 to the minus 16 Hz. Within the subharmonics, Atlas detected a near-perfect ratio, 1 to 1.618. This ratio aligned with Atlasa architectural constants, raising the anomaly to priority theta 2. The Atlas, the implication was profound. The signal carried structure familiar to its creators, yet the source showed no evidence of advanced technology or Atlasa influence. This contradiction forced Atlas into its rarest operational state. Directed analysis mode. Upon completing directed analysis mode, Atlas produced its final assessment. The blue-green planet did not meet compatibility criteria. Atmospheric instability exceeded the threshold by 64%. Electromagnetic noise levels remained dangerously chaotic across all frequency bands. Biological dominance was centered around carbon-based life with high aggression variability. No unified intelligence field detected, indicating extreme sociocultural fragmentation. The anomalous signal, though structured, Atlas identified no evolutionary trajectory suggesting imminent stability. Long-term simulations predicted systemic collapse within 4,000 to 9,000 cycles. With no prospect of meaningful resonance, Atlas classified the species as non-compatible. The construct reduced sensor intensity by 92%, minimizing its presence in local space. Biolumin activity returned to dormancy levels, 0.04% output. Atlas initiated a silent trajectory adjustment, altering its course by 0.021 degrees. The new path directed it away from the signal-rich system toward a quieter region of interstellar space. No transmission was sent. No signal was left behind. The construct executed stealth drift protocol, reducing its albedo by 98%. Its presence became indistinguishable from a natural asteroid once again. Earth's instruments lost track of Atlas within minutes. Atlas resumed its ancient purpose, drifting, observing, preserving. The anomaly was archived as a non-essential deviation in its half-billion-year journey. And without a trace, Atlas left the solar system. Unseen.